Hello and welcome back. And today we are going to discuss about the verse number 17 of the book, The Holy Signs. This is chapter number 1, and the title is Vedas. So we are talking about the essence of the Vedas. Basically, this has been given by the Shri Yukteshwar Giriji in his book, The Holy Signs. So before we delve into these verse number 17, let's recall what we discussed in verse number 15 and 16. So in verse number 15 and 16, Shri Yukteshwar Giriji was talking about the similarities in two states of consciousness. First state is our daily consciousness. When we work throughout the day using our consciousness, that awakening consciousness. As of now, my consciousness is awakening consciousness. This consciousness and the consciousness of dream, both these consciousnesses have a similarity. What kind of similarity is there? When we are in dream, we think that whatever happening to us in the dream is real. If in dream police has busted you, then in that case you will feel it real in the dream. You will not feel it something like something happening, uh, you know, um, not which is not real. You will be thinking that yes, this is happening, which is real, right? So in the dream itself, we are not able to identify that we are in the dream. We find it true. So person person who is moving towards the path of the consciousness or the spirituality, he becomes aware or he becomes a firm believer of this fact that just like in the dream, we think that yes, something is happening to us is exactly right and not exactly right. In fact, exactly the real thing happening, right? Similarly, when he wakes up and in the awakening state, he feels that this world where I'm feeling few things as something happening which is real, it may be that this thing, whatever I'm feeling in the real world, while my consciousness is under the awakening consciousness state, then this can also be an illusion. So he understands this that this thing where I am actually awaken that time and when I am in the dream at that time. Both the times I am able to feel that something is really happening. So, in fact, that dream was an illusion. Similarly, this consciousness state, the awakening consciousness state, could also be an illusion, right? So, he becomes a firm believer of this fact. I repeat, he becomes a firm believer of this fact, this thing that yes, the illusion is the reality. Illusion is our reality. So he is able to find this illusion and its similarity in the dream and the real consciousness, or you can say awakening consciousness, right? So in that case, he is able to understand that now I need to find out what is the real, right? So when he is able to feel this, then this thing makes him believe in the Son of God. Son of God means it's a metaphoric word. Son of God is nothing, but it's a metaphoric word. Son of God means that energy which has been generated by the supreme energy, the supreme energy which is running this cosmic universe. That energy has made it possible for all the things to take or to manifest in some form, just like in the form of an animal or in the form of some person, right? So, all these things have become possible because of that supreme energy, which is the reason for all the smaller energies, which we name as, elephant, ant, you know the lion, all these smaller energies, I mean they are all the part of that supreme energy. They are because of that, right? So these smaller energies which are just the a different, a kind of different manifestation of that particular energy, which is the reason for entire entropy or the entire energy which is governing the entire universe. those energies are known as the Son of God, right? So he is able to understand that the same energy is causing the same kind of illusion in two states. He becomes the firm believer of this. It's just not like you start believing just because you have read it, just because you have studied it, just because someone has told you. And if you have done this, that just because someone has told you, you have started believing that yes, everything is everything is an illusion, whether it's dream or whether it's the real world. What we call the real world is the awakening state. Whatever we feel, that is known as the that feeling is known as the world in the awakening state, right? So that thing we are able to firmly believe. It's just not like someone is telling you or someone from somewhere you got it and you have started believing. No, started believing forcibly or started believing just like you know any blind follower is not the real feeling or is not the real thing happening in your life. It is not the real understanding or the real feeling when you are knowingly feeling all these things, knowingly trying to feel all these things, right? So, I mean, you need to know, I mean, you want to know what is causing this, what is the reason of this kind of illusion, right? Why this illusion is there. So, this kind of craving always makes you a person which can be easily attracted towards those who are on the same path or who have become the masters on this path. Those masters are known as the Sadguru, right? So this craving causes the attraction from Sadguru, right? You get attracted towards all those energies which are on the same path, right? So what does Sadguru do then? Sadguru teaches him or her to move towards Susumna nerve. We have three nerves, Ida, Pingla, and Susumna. Ida is known as the moon nerve, Chandra Nadi. Pingla known as Surya Nadi or sun nerve, and sun nerve and moon nerve, they are running at the different times. At some time, one of your nerves only work. It could be your Ida or it could be your Pingla. But when you come to the Susumna, then in that case, that Susumna is a balancing thing. I mean, it balances both. It is kind of, you can understand like when you are you're just breathing from one of the nostrils, then it could be either Ida or Pingla, right? So when you are breathing from one of the nostrils, then you have a certain frequency which is different than the frequency of the supreme energy. Just understand it. When you are taking the breath and holding it and throwing it out, then in that case, if one of your nostrils is working, then because of that, the frequency of your prana, the frequency of your consciousness, the entire consciousness has some kind of frequency which is not exactly equivalent to the supreme frequency which is governing this universe or which is running this universe, right? So in this case, you are away from the god. If the other nostril is running, one nostril is closed, then also you are not close towards the god, right? But when we talk about the susumna, so Sadguru teaches him to move towards the Susumna nerve because Susumna nerve is the balance between the two, right? Both the nostrils will run at the same pace and at the same level, right? So that situation is known as the situation of balance. And in that case, sometimes the yogis, they are able to balance their breathing in such a way that uh, someone cannot understand that which nostril is working and whether he is breathing or not, right? So this is the kind of level is achieved when you are moving towards the susumna nerve. right? So when you are moving towards the Susumna nerve with the help of the Sadguru, then in that case, your frequency starts changing, right? And how does it change? It changes to make your frequency to become equal to the frequency of the divine light, right? Light waves has also frequency, right? So when you start moving towards inside in the Susumna, then clearly that energy, which is the source of light, that source of light started producing, in front of you, not in front of you, not in front of your eyes, right? It is something which doesn't have any source in this real world. It doesn't have any source in the real world. This is something from which this real world light has came out, right? So this is what is happening when you are moving towards the Susumna, right? So this frequency of our consciousness becomes, becomes tuned, or you can say it gets tuned with the energy called the supreme, and we are able to tune ourselves uh, to the energy level, at the energy level where it is just like the light wave, right? So when you reach towards this state, then this light frequency is felt like a person. You feel that this light, whatever I can feel, is nothing but someone in front of me. In Indian culture, this light is known as the Radha. This light has given the name as Radha, right? Radha means the part of God, right? The inseparable part of God, the power of God, right? Without which uh, God cannot, work, and vice versa as well, right? So this light, I mean, if you know the nature of the light, this light has dual nature. One is uh, wave nature and the other one is particle nature, right? So until you reaches to that nature, you are not able to understand that yes, this world has been made up of infinite number of particles, right? So once you reaches towards the light wave, towards the frequency of the light wave, then whatever you are able to feel in the light, that is known as the Radha. Okay. And also, not only this, but also you are able to hear few sounds. Why you are able to hear few sounds? Because your level of consciousness or your frequency level is rising to a certain extent, right? When you are at that level, then in that case you are able to hear some kind of noise or some kind of sound. It should be some kind of sound. So that sound is not coming out of anything because of something is striking something else. No, it's not like that. When something is not striking something else, then if some kind of noise or some kind of sound is produced, then that sound is known as the anahat, without striking, right? One thing strikes with other thing, then only you are able to hear some sound. But in case of anahat, without striking one thing with any other thing, you are able to hear some kind of sound. But since you are not able to hear this kind of sound from the outside, from any of the outside source, right? So this is coming from something from inside, because you have raised your frequency level to that extent, right? So that sound is, that kind of sound is something similar to, a kind of water flowing through, right? So since this is a very auspicious incident in your life when it happens, that is why, because of this auspicious sound and is this auspicious light wave experienced in your life, because of that only, it has given different names, or it has different significance. For example, if we talk about the sound, then this sound is associated with the purest river, or the auspicious river in that in that culture, right? For example, in Indian culture, for Hindus, the sound wave is just like something. some kind of water body or water source coming out of some kind of water coming out of some water source which is at very high altitude, right? So that sound is known as the is known is just like the sound of the uh, mm, of the river, some kind of river, right? Some kind of river flowing. So because of that sound, which looks like some kind sound of some kind of river, because this is very auspicious, that is why we gave the name of different rivers in our culture, which are considered as purest, right? So we give the name of river Ganga to this sound, right? Similarly, in Christianity, we give it a name Jordan. In Vaishnavas, we give it a name Yamuna. So, what I'm trying to explain you is that because these rivers are really auspicious in Hindu culture, for example, if we take the example of Ganga, since it is very auspicious, that is why whatever sound we are able to hear, we associate that sound with the sound of water flowing for river Ganga, right? Since you are able to hear this voice, so you are into this voice, or you can imagine that this voice is engulfing you, or this voice is showering on you. That is why the uh, you know uh, the bath in river Ganga, right? The bath in river Ganga is assumed to be very auspicious, be very pure act in Hinduism. Now, I hope you must have understood what is the meaning of uh, you know taking a bath in river Ganga, and why it is said that you become pure if you take the bath in river Ganga. Right now, I hope you have understood that what is the meaning of taking a bath, taking a dip in river Ganga. It's nothing but kind of experience a person is able to feel from inside him when he is moving towards the spirituality or moving towards the God, moving towards the God, that energy which is known as the supreme energy. So, in that case, he is able to hear this sound. And that is why the sound is associated with any of the purest river in any of the culture, right? So, that is why, because of this only, that this is the sound which is from inside. Because of this only, since you have been engulfed, or you can say that you have been surrounded by this voice when you are into spirituality, when you are getting purified. So that is why it has been associated with river Ganga. And that's why it is told that you should take a dip into river Ganga, right? So that's a symbolic representation of taking the bath and its benefits and its significance when you are taking a bath in river Ganga, right? It doesn't mean that you will be able to get rid of your sins. It's not like that just by taking a dip in river Ganga, you will get rid of all your sins. The thing is that you must have to understand that you first need to become, eligible to take a dip in river Ganga. Because if you understand, once you understand that when I am getting purified, then in that case, I am able to hear a voice which is not coming from any outside source, it is coming from inside me. Then in that case, you become eligible to take a dip in river Ganga. And in that situation, you need to take a dip in river Ganga to symbolically represent it that yes, you have become free from all sins because you have heard that sound. Okay, so this has been clearly explained by our beloved Shri Yukteshwar Giriji. So I hope you must have understood this 17th verse. And when you are attracted towards the light, we have also discussed about the light, that this light is attracting. You are able to see this light. And because your frequency is changing now. So you feel that I'm getting attracted towards that light. And this attraction towards that light is known as the bhakti yoga, the devotion, right? And when it happens, when you are into bhakti, then in that case, a person starts repenting. And after repenting, he starts moving towards his inner world because he is able to understand that, yes, my inner world is revealing the correct things. And he stops progress in avidya. Avidya means he stops progress in any kind of knowledge which is related to this physical world. I mean, stops studying about physics, he stops studying about any other things, but he starts studying all those things which can be told as physics of physics, chemistry of chemistry, or the source of every subject. So it's not like you stop learning in this physical world. You start learning with a new perspective. That's the objective, right? So that person stops progress of avidya and starts progress in the journey of inner world, right? So that is the stop of progress of avidya. And he starts feeling all the creation. I mean, once he reached into this situation, he is able to understand and he is able to feel all the creation, this entire creation, and he is able to understand that this entire creation is nothing but a game or a kind of puppet show where the feelings where the feelings are the different natural characteristics or different natural instincts are those hands which are motivating to dance the puppets, right? So that is something we have to understand here. So the person is able to understand that it is nothing but the game of feelings, or you can say the bhava, whatever we have. So those bhava or those feelings are motivating us to take some decision. And that is why we are accordingly, right? So I hope you must have understood. So, if you are not, then just let me know because I'm making these videos in English, but I am able to see that not many people looks interested into it if it is in English. So, what I'm thinking that I may stop this series here only, and I may start, creating videos from first chapter in Hindi only on this channel, right? But on the other channel as well, on my other channel as well, there is a list of videos on this book, The Holy Science, right? So you can go there. So most probably, if I see the good progress in this, or people are interested in this, then in that case, I will make the videos. Otherwise, the other channel can be referred for the Holy Science, right? It's not about um, any benefits. It's all about like where my efforts are useful, right? Where my efforts are giving some kind of help to anyone, right? If it is not helping you, because I know my English is not that good, and whatever I'm trying to explain, I can explain it in Hindi. Compared to English, I can explain it in Hindi easily, right? So that's why I'm facing this problem, and I'm thinking that there is already a playlist on the other channel, which is known as the Vishwa Guru, and there you can reach out and you can understand what you need, right? So, with this, I would like to say thanks to all of you, and please give me your comments because most probably I will not make further videos in English on this topic. Maybe I will start making videos in Hindi only on different topics of this book. Okay, so we'll meet in the next video or maybe in a new playlist for this book. So, till then, have a nice day. Bye bye and take care.